For decades, there's been this one productivity system that's practically legendary. It promises this incredible state of mind like water, a life of effortless control and stress-free accomplishment. But what if that very system, getting things done, has a fundamental flaw, one that's actually keeping you from your most important work? Well, in this explainer, we're going to find out.
I mean, really, think about it. You capture every single task. You organize every project with military precision, and yet, at the end of the day, do you feel powerfully accomplished or do you just feel processed? That's the core question we're digging into right now.
So here's the plan. We're going to break down the incredible promise of David Allen's GTD, then we'll uncover a really critical dilemma that author Cal Newport pointed out, and finally, we're going to build a new, integrated system that bridges that gap between just being organized and being truly effective. All right, first up, let's get on the same page about what getting things done, or GTD, actually is. Its promise is, let's be honest, incredibly appealing. Achieving total control over your life, with absolutely zero stress. Sounds good, right?
The entire philosophy is built on this one powerful insight from its creator, David Allen. The whole goal is to get every single thing out of your head and into a trusted external system. Why? So you can free up all that mental RAM for what it does best: creative, focused, high-level thinking.
So, at its heart, GTD is this super comprehensive method for managing your life's entire inventory of stuff. It's not just another to-do list, it's a complete workflow for dealing with everything that comes your way, from simple emails and errands to massive life-changing projects, the whole shebang.
And this is how it all works, in 5 pretty logical stages. First, you capture everything that has your attention. Then you clarify what each thing actually is and what you need to do with it. You organize it into the right bucket in your system. You reflect on your lists regularly to stay current. And finally, you engage with your work, trusting that you're doing exactly the right thing at exactly the right time. It sounds perfect, doesn't it? Well, almost.
Because this is where this system starts to show some cracks. And this brings us to a crucial problem identified by author and computer scientist Cal Newport, the deep work dilemma.
Newport argues that GTD is built on this subtle but, he says, flawed idea he calls task universalism. The system is designed to break everything down into a simple next action. But here's the thing. At the moment you decide what to do, the system makes no distinction between a trivial task like buy soap and a profoundly important one. They're all just widgets on an assembly line.
Now check this out. This visualizes the 2 totally different types of work that task universalism just kind of lumps together. It's a huge distinction Newport talks about in his book, Deep Work. Over on the left, you've got shallow work, answering emails, scheduling meetings, all that logistical stuff. GTD is brilliant for this. But on the right, you've got deep work, the hard, cognitively demanding stuff that requires intense focus, the work that actually creates new value and moves the needle in your career. And you just can't reduce that kind of work to a simple next action.
And this quote just nails it. If your system treats everything like a widget to be cranked out, you get really, really good at cranking widgets. But as Newport points out, that's not how you accomplish remarkable things. That requires a completely different approach.
So what does this philosophical flaw actually look like in the real world? Well, for a lot of us knowledge workers, it looks like a to-do list that never, ever, ever ends.
I love this comment from a Reddit user because it just captures that frustration perfectly. You adopt this whole system to get clarity and control, but you wind up with this overwhelming list that just creates more anxiety. You feel busy all the time, but you know you aren't making real progress on the big stuff.
And this problem gets even worse for anyone whose job is mostly on a computer. The classic GTD contexts like at phone or at errands, they start to break down. You try to make new ones like at email or at Slack, but they all just collapse into one giant, terrifying at computer list. And that completely defeats the whole point of filtering by context. It just encourages you to crank widgets instead of tackling the hard, meaningful work.
So what's the verdict? Is GTD useless? No, absolutely not. The problem isn't the system itself. It's the idea that it's a complete solution on its own. The fix is to pair it with a system that solves the one problem it doesn't address: focused execution. This right here is the key insight. Getting things done and the Pomodoro technique aren't competitors. They're perfect partners. Think of it like this. GTD is the master of what? It gives you that beautiful, clear, organized inventory of everything you need to do. But Pomodoro is the master of how. It gives you a ruthlessly effective structure for actually doing the work in focused, uninterrupted blocks.
And when you put them together, bam! You get the absolute best of both worlds.
The mental clarity you get from GTD feeds right into the focused execution of Pomodoro. It creates this complete system that can manage both your shallow and your deep work with incredible efficiency.
Okay, so how do we actually do this? How do we put it into practice? Let's walk through a simple 4-step workflow to build your new supercharged system.
Here's the blueprint. Step 1. When you clarify your tasks, you're now going to define them as Pomodoro-ready actions. Step 2. During your weekly review, you estimate how many Pomodoros each task will take. Step 3. Each day you pick the tasks you're going to tackle based on your energy and priorities. And step 4, this is the crucial one. When you execute, you protect your focus like a fortress, capturing all new stuff to be processed later.
That first step is the absolute game changer. You have to totally shift how you define your tasks. A to-do item like work on quarterly report is basically a recipe for procrastination. It's too big, but draft executive summary outline for Q3 report, now that is a clear, concrete action you can knock out in one focused session. You see the difference? It's between a vague intention and an executable command.
And that focus session is just 25 minutes long. This is the magic of the Pomodoro technique. It's short enough that it feels easy to start, which absolutely murders procrastination, but it's long enough to make real, meaningful progress. It transforms the scary idea of doing work into a series of manageable, concrete sprints.
Okay, listen closely because this is the rule that makes the entire system fire on all cylinders. During a 25-minute Pomodoro, you are a submarine. You are running silent. Every new email, every Slack notification, every brilliant idea you have for another project, it all goes straight into your GTD inbox. You do not look at it. You do not process it. No exceptions. This is how you protect your deep work, while GTD's trusted CAPTCHA system makes sure nothing ever falls through the cracks. And that right there is the ultimate shift this system gives you. By integrating these two powerhouses, you move beyond the trap of just managing lists. You build a machine that not only keeps you organized, but also drives consistent, focused action on the projects that truly matter. You go from being perfectly organized to being powerfully accomplished. So I'll leave you with this question to think about. Take an honest look at how you work right now. Is your system just helping you stay in motion, ticking off a bunch of shallow tasks and feeling busy? Or is it truly built to help you create meaning, to do the deep, focused work that produces real value in the world? The choice is yours.